Coming up this weekend, it will be the 22nd annual Prime Link Great Northern Shootout on the other side of the lake at Plattsburgh State's Ronald B. Stafford Ice Arena. The top-ranked Norwich Cadets will travel to face Middlebury tomorrow afternoon before facing either the host Cardinals or Wisconsin Eau Claire. To get a first-hand look at how Norwich is preparing, we bring in Coach Cam Ellsworth now for the Coach's Preview, brought to you by Sticks and Stuff. Coach, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you as well.
Now, so as fans, you know, we get all pumped up for this tournament, and I've been sort of in and out of it for the last, 15 years or so now. What's the excitement like on a locker room side of things? Do they get up for this just as much or more so than other competition?
I think it's an exciting week, for our guys. We've been here since August, and so we've got kind of an off week, so it's just exciting to get a little downtime. The guys have been really doing the books hard, and so that's exciting. And then obviously Thanksgiving, and there's a lot of families around, so that's exciting. And then, being able to play in this tournament and understanding the history of it obviously caps it off. So it's a really exciting week for our group.
Now, what was it like for you the first time last year? Did you know ahead of time? I mean, obviously somebody has to pull you aside and be like, hey, this is a big deal. And you see it on the schedule and you're like, okay, I can see how that's significant. But what was it like to you going into it for the first time as a head coach last year?
Again, what people said and then experiencing it, but I think we're just two different things. I don't think it's necessarily, I don't know if you can verbalize it. It was a really unique experience. And, starting off and doing it at home was really cool for me. And we had a banquet, and you're meeting all of the executives from the Prime Link, and you start learning about the history of this, and they talk about the successes of the teams that have played in this and have done well in this, and how that's meant on the national stage, and and then for us to go out and win it in our first year at home, and for myself experiencing it the first time, it was just it was a total thrill.
And you were at UMass Lowell for a while, so you're kind of proximity-wise close to the Bean Pot. How would you compare the two?
Yeah, I mean, I never experienced the Bean Pot as a coach or player, so obviously it's the way that it's marketed, and again what that means to a region, and I'd say it would be similar in the sense that the people look forward to it, and that I think ours is, to be quite honest, a little bit neat just because it's one weekend. So I think the Bean Pot's 2 Mondays in after Christmas, and so it's spread out a little bit, where ours, I think all the emotion, and I think it's great for our fans and fans of others that they can come to one spot for a weekend and kind of experience such great hockey, 4 games in 2 days.
Now let's look ahead to the teams that you've got on the docket this weekend. First, it's Middlebury. They've been down for a couple of seasons now, but it seems like they're starting to get their way back to where they used to be, or at least closer to that. What have you seen from looking at the Panthers?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're off to a great start. I believe they're 3-1. They're a big team that skates really well. And, we played them here last year in the final. We scored a couple late ones, so I think the score is a little bit misleading. But when we played them at their spot, I think we scored, just watching some pre-scout, maybe under a minute to eke one out. So definitely a big test for us. Again, they're in-state rivals of ours and co-hosts with Plattsburgh. So there's a lot of history that goes into this that I'm learning, and I think our guys probably know a little bit better than me, but they're recruiting really good skaters, and again, their speed should be a test for us.
And there's always a mystery team every year in the Prime Link, somebody either coming in from out west or another team from the Northeast. And this year it is Wisconsin Eau Claire, and aside from yourselves, you're the only other ranked team that's in the tournament. Have you had a chance at all to take a look at them yet, and what do you know about them?
Well, it's funny. I haven't had a chance to watch them on film. I'm really looking forward just to kind of seeing them live. But I actually, in Division III, I know decent amount about them. I know their staff really well. I actually worked with a couple Eau Claire alums, and got to know their group. So high quality people there that there's just a tough brand of Midwest hockey. Happen to know a few of the players from back in my recruiting days at Lowell. We actually have a Lowell transfer that's playing this. And I know a decent amount about them as people. I don't know about the way they play per se, but as you say, their record speaks for themselves. They've got, I think, 1 tie and highly ranked. So it'll be a great addition to the tournament this year.
And you just mentioned the live scouting aspect of it. When you get to a deal like this where it is a tournament scenario, how much of an advantage is it as a coach? And everyone's sort of on the same plane, right? Everyone gets to watch the other teams play when they're not playing. But when you get to scout someone in person, literally the day before you play them, how much does that help you?
Well, I think it helps a lot. There's so much that you can see in the emotion of the game that I don't know that video picks up, and so And that's scouting players for your team. That's scouting opponents. That's everything. So I just think, even as a fan, I think people would say it's great to watch on TV, but being live on a hockey game, I don't think there's anything like it. So those are definitely valuable opportunities. And again, for me, we're going to have the opportunity to see Plattsburgh, who we're going to play right after Christmas. So it's a great early start to us just to see their new team as well.
And having experienced this last year, how interesting is it when you get, because Middlebury's got Middlebury's, all three fan bases between Middlebury, Plattsburgh, and Norwich are unique, right? And they're unique into the little pocket that they're from. All are coming from small towns that are very different from one another. What's it kind of like when you see all three groups in one building like that, and you can kind of see them melting together, so to speak?
The biggest thing, I think there is a lot of unique, but I think the uniting factor is just there's just a passion, and there's a history of passionate people. You're talking about three programs with just a storied history, and again, unique now in the sense that all three have kind of passed the torch along in their coaching, right? And with Plattsburgh turning over the reins this year. So it'll be interesting to see what the future holds and kind of how those fan bases continue to evolve. But the biggest thing I can say is just having played in both of their buildings last year, having hosted them here at the Prime Link, I just think that they're just passionate people and passionate about the kids and the schools that they represent.
Yeah, it always makes it more fun, too, that's for sure, when you got a lively building. Now, I know it's not good to look too far ahead in sports. It's one of the bad things to do. You got to look at what's in front of you. But coming up next Friday, you do the Darn Tough Sock Toss that's coming up, and I know you wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Something we've been working on. Last year was the first event. Darn Tough partnered with us, and last year they donated over 1,400 socks, and we were able to distribute those to the different people in need in the central Vermont area. Met with them this year, and they really liked it. They want to start making it an annual thing. We couldn't be happier. We are going to have them there. They've committed at least 1,500 pairs this year. They're trying to do more, and we're encouraging anyone else to bring in socks of their own. And we're trying to get over 2,000 pairs, and we're going to be distributing them really all over the state of Vermont, up into Burlington and all the different places that we can. And again, what will happen is scoring our first goal, we'll throw them on, collect them, and then again, we've already got things planned out for the week after to get them out to a bunch of different charities. So would love any support to be at the game, but if you do come, we will have socks from Darn Tough, but please bring your own, please bring some donations, and it's going to help local people. And
not only that, but it's an in-state game on top of being in a conference game with Castleton being in the house.
Yeah, 100%. It's the last time we get to see some hockey here at Kreitzberg before the new year, so we're hoping for a great crowd and great support. And again, we couldn't be more thankful for Darn Tough for the commitment that they've made.
Now, I do want to move ahead to tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving, and you've got a bunch of guys that are not all of them are from here. I'm assuming some have family coming in because you got a tournament. What's your plan, and what are a lot of the players doing for Thanksgiving?
We do have some different families are in here. We've got two different houses that are kind of having their own version of Thanksgiving. I think one's going to be more turkey based, one's a little bit more ham based, and everybody's kind of got open arms from there that don't have family in town. Myself, I've got my mother-in-law here. I got my family, and maybe watch some football. I saw my wife got us a cherry pie, so maybe sneak a treat or two.
Now, are you going to let your guys sneak a few treats or two? They got the big game the next day. You're going to make sure they're careful with what they're eating?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I put a lot of trust in our guys, and I've yet to be disappointed in the choices that they make in that manner. So I'm sure that they'll be prepared, and I wouldn't imagine that they would be sneaking any more treats than any of our opposition. So I think it's just that time of year, and when you're playing an event around that time of year, you have to be aware that, there's some certain hurdles that are different, but I think it's good and it's healthy, and more than anything, a treat here and there is one thing, but the opportunity to spend so much time with your teammates, watching some football, cooking some food, I think that's invaluable.
Absolutely. Portion control. It's what it's all about. Just got to be but there are you guys, athletes, and you're more disciplined than we are here on this side of the microphone. Coach, wish you the best of luck this weekend at the Prime Link, and have a great Thanksgiving.
All right. Thanks so much. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Thanks.